welcome to the March 2021 Business Development Mastermind. Hey, Kelly, good to see you.
Hi, good morning.
We're just getting started.
Okay.
And life is really challenging on my end. I'm getting physical therapy for my arm, which does help kind of. It's better than the nothingness that all the other treatments were doing. So, but still, it's a challenge to try to get through all of this. But then on top of that, we had just a little dusting of snow on Sunday, 22 inches. So, and then on Monday, I spent all day shoveling snow. And of course, hard to make a dent. And then Tuesday, that was the day that we were having the movers come in and move everything out of our house and into our garage. And then Wednesday was mostly recovery. And so I am calling this a quote vacation. But I'm still doing the mastermind groups, even though it's from a hotel. And but appears to be working okay. So we'll see how it goes. Morning, Vicki. Morning, Judy. Hey, Claire. Good to see you all.
Good to be here.
Good morning.
Okay.
Morning.
All right, so let's go through and give some updates. Let us know what you've been doing for business development in the last month. How that's been going? Yeah, Claire.
I have to leave right at 10 because Zara's group is meeting at 10.
Okay, so we'll let you go first, and we'll try not to talk bad about you when you leave. No promises.
I'm sure that's going to happen anyway.
Yeah, well, you know how this group is, right?
I know. Such a safe place, right?
Yeah, so go ahead, Claire, and give us your update on how things have been going.
Let's see, from Organizational Development Network, we're working on a consulting contract, which is a full OD intervention for a nonprofit in Nevada called Jobs for Nevada Grads. And they've been around for a number of years, actually. And this year they're putting 3,900 and some odd high school graduates either into college or into jobs. So they do a lot of really good work. And they need to have their boards more engaged. So onboarding for new board members and re-engagement for old board members. And then they want an automated communication system, so email, to all their different types of stakeholders. So we're working on that. And then as far as coaching is concerned, finishing up with Marsha Reynolds' first breakthrough coaching training and going into that certification and working on the Coach Automatic program. And what else? I don't know. That's the majority of it, I guess. Yeah, and working on my hours and getting those together so that I can go ahead and put that portfolio in and get on with my life, perhaps.
Fabulous.
That's about it.
Okay. Who else would like to go next?
I'm still trying to get on here completely, Carl.
Well, we can see you now, so that's a good sign.
I can go next, Carl.
Okay.
I had a great month. I launched my leadership class for women, and I've had 2 courses, great feedback, or 2 sessions, great feedback. I hit my sweet spot with 6 paying customers. So it's the perfect number for my first round of this. And they've been very excited. So I'm really excited about getting that one launched. I'm creating one more series. I'm working on that now. I got my pricing sheet almost finished for individual packages and the courses, and then kind of an all-inclusive, including a group that I want to put together for after they do the course, if they're interested. So I was working on the pricing on that. I got my CRM loaded and weekly quotes are going out. So I'm feeling very accomplished this month.
Yeah, boy, I say that is very cool.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Super productivity, and especially because it was a short month, right? This was from
Yes.
the end of February. So, kudos for cramming into just fewer days.
It helps to put a due date out there and be committed to making it.
I know, isn't that amazing?
How quickly you can work when you go, okay, I already said this is when the class is starting. I guess I better be ready for it. So
Yep.
Monica, what's a theorem? Did you say theorem?
no.
CRM.
Oh, CRM.
Okay.
CRM. Thank you. Thanks,
What's a
Judy.
CRM?
It's the customer management system.
Oh,
I think it's customer relationship management is
Yeah.
what that stands for.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the tool that you use in sales situations to keep track of the millions of conversations you're having with different people, because it can get pretty insane when you're, contacting 10 people a week, and each conversation is at kind of a different state. And
Right.
you need to capture contact details and stuff.
Yeah. And it loads right into my MailChimp mail out so that I can
That's
tag, so the women's group, I have certain people in my CRM that I want to get information on the classes or the courses, but I don't want other people in there because they're set for a different group.
Mhm.
Thank you. I need
Yeah.
something like that.
Carl, I'm going to go out and come back in. It's been running real slow and I don't know what the problem is. So I'm going to try that
Okay, give it a shot. Thanks.
because I can't even leave.
Oh, great. Yes, we've captured you. We will not let you leave.
Yeah,
You're stuck here.
I'm not used to this. I don't usually have this kind of problem. I don't know what to do.
It's just one of those days, technology.
Got a mind of its own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sometimes the restart button works. So
that's right. Time to
computer
pull the
down
plug.
and restart. Sometimes that helps.
Yeah.
And Judy, you could always try the task manager if you need to kick yourself out.
I'm on a Mac. I don't have a task manager.
You're right. You do not. No magic for that one. Sorry.
Okay, she finally managed to escape. Okay, who would like to go next?
I'll go because I don't have that much. I don't.
Okay, Sherry.
So I just started 2 additional classes that were late start classes on campus. So now I have 7, which is normal for me. So it's not like that's that big of a deal. But what it does mean is that I do have to shift gears and I end up focusing more on that. But I do have a group I'm running through the Positive Intelligence program. I'm calling it Take Control of Your Future with Positive Intelligence. And so we're really staying involved in that conversation. And so because I have a group going through and it's my first one going through, I'm really developing material. So I'm kind of doing that every week, developing. And it's a pilot group. So with these guys, I have a little bit more forgiveness. But I also want to put things in place so that I can automate it and not have to, when I start doing that, it allows me to, still be able to teach, still be able to focus on what I need to focus on, have all the material developed, and then I can just jump in and work with whoever I need to work with rather than having to oh my God, I got to create this for them and send out this email and do that thing. And so there's so many different moving pieces with that. And then, and still working and grading. And the beautiful thing is all my classes are small this semester. So except for one, my online one, but the rest of them, I have classes of, I'm going to be going on campus to teach one, and it's only got 9 in one and 11 in the other. So That's,
How big is the positive intelligence program? How many people do you have in that?
I just have 4 in this group.
Okay.
I
Cool.
had 3 in the group I ran before that. I want to get up to 12, but again, I want to automate it. So it's not so much, it's because it's a little bit cumbersome right now. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this group right now is I'm automating it
Mhm.
and going through that process. And then I'm like, if you guys want to do a love offering to pay for it kind of thing. And then to continue on, unfortunately, I'm not having them, I'm doing love offering for the first part. And then for the year, if they choose to do that, then that's they would have to pay for that because I would have to pay for their seats. So I love them. I'm not going to pay for their seats.
Well, I mean, this is always the challenge, and I've been through that too. You start off offering things for free or minimal or something, and then how do you ramp up to what would really sustain you and is market value? And some people will drop away, but some people will be attracted to it. You know, because there is that mindset of if it's free, it doesn't have any value. I get that, but
Yeah, I just think while I'm learning, and these are people I care about. So, and I think they're gonna pay anyway. So I'm not that worried about it. And it's just about when it's gonna happen. That's all. So
okay.
that's the beautiful thing.
Shari, where are you teaching?
Where am I teaching?
Yeah.
I'm teaching at Metro CCD, and I teach for an online school for graphic design.
Oh, that's fascinating. Thank
And I
you.
teach communication classes on campus, mostly public speaking.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for anything else, Sherry?
Nope.
Okay, cool. Who wants to go next? Come on, ladies, you know the drill. You're all
I-
gonna have to say
I
something.
can go next.
Okay, go for it.
Well, I'm not new to all of this. I was in the other group for a little bit because I had a conflict. I work full time, so I had a conflict during this hour, but looks like moving forward, you're stuck with me. I'm Rebecca Woodard. You can also call me Reba. Or whatever you want to call me. It doesn't matter. I work full time. I believe I have one of the best jobs in the entire world because I get to work on organizational development through creating facilitation courses. And I also get to, the best part is internally coach. So I have about 10 people that I coach ongoing. So that's how I rack up my hours. And I've been really good with tracking hours in the past year now, but most of all, like this starting in January, I really organized in the nice spreadsheet. Although it was nice because I got my PCC this year, and and so I was like, I have to organize these hours, so I have like a calendar planner every month to go back and look at. I mean, I have a list of who I'm already coaching, but just to go back and look at how many hours I spent with each person. So I'm over 700 hours, and I'm working towards MCC, which 2023, 2024, it's okay. Just keep working on your hours, right? It's moving in the right direction.
That is just absolutely fabulous. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you're finding, Rebecca, that when you do that on a monthly basis, that it's not that hard to remember what went on.
No.
But saving it up for a year or two, you're going back through your calendar.
Don't do it.
I'm not even sure if I had that.
Don't do it. That's all I have to recommend, unless you have a great memory. But it really works nicely in the month, and it like even reminds me like who my coaching clients are and what they're working on too. So it's kind of like a nice monthly summary,
Nice.
So when I started in the last group in January, I was kind of like scorned because I owned a business at one point and I closed it down. It was an aerial yoga business. And I went through the whole marketing stuff with Facebook, Instagram, postings, blogs, emails, newsletters. And I was just so burnt out from it. So it was good that I took a break, and I found an amazing person that I connected to and who's on the same level as me to help me with my personal branding. Because I have already a website for my own coaching, external business, and facilitation. So I meet with her next week and we're going to start strategizing. And one of the first things that's on my list is doing mindful leadership, where I want to launch a 30-day mindful leadership where we focus on leadership behaviors that are from what's called the Leadership Challenge. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but I'm working towards my master facilitation with that as well. So, and I earned my first level of certification with that. So I'm working really nicely with that. And I'm also continuing with my DISC Genius. I've gotten certified with DISC last year, but I'm taking it to the next level. And then my company asked me, we'll pay for it. You want to get certified in the 5 behaviors? Sure, I won't say no. So I'm really working hard on focusing on in the next 2 months is my personal branding and launching the mindful leadership 30-day kind of, and it's going to be a small payment, but it's a 30-day kind of meditation in some ways. And then by the end of June, I'd like to have 2 external paying clients.
Nice. So it sounds like this lady is helping you as sort of a marketing consultant kind of role. She's not like a business partner or something like that.
She calls herself the marketing mentor.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
We all need mentors, so I'm for that.
Yes.
Okay, well, fabulous, Rebecca. I appreciate that. All right, who wants to go next?
I have a question for Rebecca. Who did you say you were getting all of those hours from?
Most of them, I'm an internal coach, so I work full time and I get paid to my salary and I get to coach people.
Oh, okay.
And
It's the
those
best-
do count as coaching hours.
Yes.
ICF has a special provision for how to do that, but it's real coaching. It's just included as part of your salary, so you can't identify a separate revenue stream for that.
Right. And it's a great way to get practice. It's been wonderful. I actually started the internal coaching program as a tag on to our learning and development programs. So it's for people who are trying to go for a development goal and continue. Like, how do you put the learning in place? A lot of times they don't do anything with it, right? So I'm there to hold them accountable for it.
So these are all people that work at the same company. Got it.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, who's next?
I'll go next, Carl.
All right.
Good morning. I apologize for being a few minutes late. So I'm Lauren Fisher, for any of you that I didn't meet last time. So I'm developing a sales coaching program and business. And so the last couple months, I started doing a pro bono sales training program for a couple people that were in a mastermind group of mine. And they're starting a network marketing business, and neither one of them, one's a musician and one is, I'm not sure what her background is, but neither of them had sales experience, but they're jumping into a business that requires a lot of sales. So I did 3 pro bono sessions with them. And then I said, if we can continue, I'm going to ask you to pay. And so they agreed. I was sort of holding my breath like they might bail out, but they agreed. So I have my first paying clients. And then I'm also doing some career coaching for 2 other individuals at no charge, but it's still helping me develop content. So that's been forcing me to develop content as I go. And then I've also started a interview series where I'm interviewing people that I worked with over the years. And it's called the Secret Mindsets of Highly Successful Salespeople. And it's been an amazing experience to find out more about these people and what makes them tick, and people that I've known and worked with for probably 10, 20 years, some of them. And I never knew things about them and what they've faced, what they've gone through that forced them to be resilient. So it's been a really rewarding experience. And then I'm pulling their key pieces of pearls of wisdom into training. And I'm also thinking that I could actually do something more with this content, even like video clips or marketing clips of the pearls of wisdom of people that have been in sales for 20 to 30 years.
So is that something that you're capturing on video, or is that in written form, or what is that?
I've been videoing them through Zoom.
Nice.
Yeah, and if I go back and use them, I'll get a release. But I've told everybody, on the video that asking them permission to record them. They've all given me permission on the video, so I know that and I would do it legally if I wanted to figure out clips. And then I hired my nephew, who's in LA, and he's a filmmaker, unemployed, of course, and he's like 25 years old and super techie. And I've hired him to help me with my social media because I'm not interested in doing that myself, and I don't know how to do it. And so he's going to help me with that. And then I've got a company that's working on web design and incorporating the social media rollout and so on. So it's been a productive month.
Fabulous. I may want to introduce you to the sales coach that I worked with a number of years ago. He used to live here in Northern Colorado, but he moved to Florida, but he's still very, very active as a sales coach and has lots of stuff going on.
I'd love to meet him.
Yeah.
It'd be great, Carl. Thank you.
Yeah, he's very outgoing, very generous. And he and I did some barter coaching where I helped him with his business and he helped me with my sales. And that was still very valuable.
And there's lots of good sales training out there that talk about features and benefit and territory management and strategy and all that. And mine is focused on the mindset. What is the mindset it takes to differentiate yourselves? And as far as I can tell, nobody does that. There's no sales training program that really talks about how to structure your thinking on a daily basis or, bigger picture basis. So
nice.
That's my niche. Yeah, so I'd love to speak to anybody that's got experience in this business.
Okay. All right. Who next? Come on, you don't want me to start calling names.
Judy, you're muted.
I just noticed that. Who has spoken so I can just kind of get into the flow again?
Well, we had Claire and Monica and Sherry and Rebecca and Lauren.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd be happy to go.
Okay.
It's been a very active and productive month for me. I'm very excited about everything that's happening. And as I posted on the base camp, I'd gotten new clients, 2 in January, 2 in February, and 3 in March. And that's feeling very good from many perspectives, the ability to be working with people who are up to things that are exciting, and also the income. And just in terms of my whole life, I've been working on getting a refinance on my reverse mortgage, and our HOA FHA approval had dropped in 2018. So that we had to reapply for that in order for me to get to work with FHA, and that just came through yesterday. So that's very exciting because that will take more pressure off me. And I'm very excited about the Zoom member benefit that the NSA, the National Speakers Association, has, because it gives me the whole package of what Zoom has to offer. And two of the things that I was very interested in was unlimited cloud storage and transcription of recordings.
Wow.
So I've forgotten exactly, with Zoom, that would cost between $2,300 and $2,600 a year. And with NSA and the arrangement they have with Zoom, it's $360 a year. So I switched to that a couple of weeks ago and have been recording everything, and the transcription is beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Wow.
So I finally have found a system to capture my content in a way that really serves me and will help me to do more writing. And that's a big, big win for me. And I'm able now, because I'm just feeling so much better. I'm able to do more things, and I'm updating the list of clubs and organizations, civic and service groups, and getting ready to do something on Speakers in Colorado. The meetup that Joe started in 2008, and what my intention is to do something next week that'll be free and be a lead-in to a group coaching program to help people who are wanting to get started in the speaking business, to be able to do that. Rather than a class, it'll be a group coaching program. And I'm thinking about a 3-month program at this point.
Cool.
So just a lot of really good things are happening, and they're all happening. You know, they're easy, and they're working, and my intentions are working. So that's all been really, really great. And I'm a very happy person.
Well, we like it when you're happy, Judy. Fabulous.
Me too.
All right. You know, these are great updates, and I appreciate that. I'm watching the time a little bit, so we've got to make sure to keep moving. Okay, so I have Kelly and Vicky and Duana haven't talked yet.
Yeah, I can go really quick.
Okay.
Just quick update. I led a 7-day retreat called Nature is Our Best Mirror, which it was so much fun, you guys. And I think I want to do it every quarter. Through my business, I was offering free workshops every month, and it just started to become too much for me. So I'm just going to offer this retreat every quarter. Is kind of my, like giving, you know, I really value being able to provide some free content. And so that's what I've decided. And
How
working
many people did you have on the first one, Kelly?
27.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Awesome.
was really awesome. And honestly, you guys, I did not do a good job with registering on Facebook. Like, I only had 60 registrations, and they recommend on these retreats that you have, like, you know, 800 to 900. So I have a long ways to go with getting, you know, people to come in learning process. So yeah, that was the first week of March, and I'm working on the website, you guys. I'm hoping to be able to have something to show you by April. My goal is like April 1st. So I'll probably put it in our little check-in group and just open to feedback. I've never built a website. It is scary as it's just a lot. And I'm trying to do the SEO stuff, and it's a huge learning curve for me. So I really welcome any feedback.
That's fabulous. The good news is that you can keep updating and tweaking over time. So it doesn't have to be perfect out of the gate.
Yes, thank you, Carl. That's a
I
good
have a que-
reminder.
So is a retreat like a full all in like day and night thing, or do they just go like, is it during the day, or how did that work?
You know, Vicki, I did every day from 6 to 6:45 p.m. via Zoom. So it was great because then people could join from like all around the US. So you can,
I got you.
yes. I will say it was too short. So I would do, like, if you do anything like this, I would do an hour, and then someone recommended like a deep dive, 30 minutes. So the next time I do it, it'll be like 6 to 7 p.m. with an optional 30-minute deep dive.
I don't know why I was thinking that you were at a physical location. I mean, which makes no sense right now, but
Yeah, I'll keep
These
them
days, we
online.
all think that Zoom is in person, because it's just,
I'm
this
like,
is our life.
retreat. Like I'm at a retreat place, but that's a great title.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
Kelly, you said it was from 6 to 6:45.
PM.
Okay, so it was 45 minutes. Okay, I got it.
Gee, I thought you meant 6 a.m. to 6:45.
Right.
It's a long Zoom
How did
call.
you do that? And then you said the whole retreat was about being with nature, or however you titled it. I'm thinking, how did she do that on Zoom from 6 a.m. to 6:45? I kill myself.
Yes, no way. So it was only 45 minutes a day.
And how many days was it?
7, Judy. So yeah, and the main 5 days were like teaching content, and then it was kind of toward the end, like Q&A style. And
that's just a very attractive model for me. It just sounds very, the time is not too long, so people might feel more comfortable committing to 7 days. So I may reach out to you and just get a little more information, because it feels very attractive to me.
yeah, Judy, reach out. Let's connect.
I will. Okay.
Yeah, fabulous. Okay, Vicki, do you want
I'll go. Yeah, I'd like to learn more about how you incorporated the nature piece. So I'll be reaching out to you also. So for me, let's see, in the last month, I've been focusing more on the social media aspect and reaching out to my target audience through that. Engaging on Instagram, LinkedIn, and just this week created a YouTube channel because I'm excited about doing some little clips, little videos, and just again to get my content out there for people. And my audience is healthcare providers and their wellness, and working on helping them to achieve a more fulfilling work-life balance and to achieve greater wellness. So it's been a lot of fun. I've connected with some people I've worked with on LinkedIn that I haven't talked to literally in years. And so I'm looking forward to meeting with them later on in April. We're just going to grab some lunch. And these are 2 PAs that I've worked with in the past. So, and I appreciate what Lauren said about mindset, because that to me is probably the biggest thing that I'm working on right now, is having a positive mindset in the place that I'm at, where I just see all the opportunities and I'm excited about moving forward, but not quite getting those paid clients. But just really kind of seeing beyond that, and just, knowing that will come at the right time when it's supposed to, and probably when I'm ready for it myself too. So keeping positive, moving forward. I have a lot of things I want to take on. I also looked into some credentialing. I'm not, as far as the financial piece, I'm not ready to take that on, because it's going to cost a few $1,000s to even go that route. But these are some things I've looked into. I want to also offer group coaching, which I think would be a great plus to add to my business. And I just love working in group settings anyway. So, so yeah, I'd say probably the social media part of that has been something that I've found it's a whole nother ball game though, for sure. It's a learning curve with that for sure.
You know, Vicky, it sounds like it might be useful on the Basecamp group to just start a discussion around group coaching. Maybe throw out some of the questions or things that you're thinking about there, because we've got a number of people now that this year are working on how do we approach group coaching or team coaching, which is quite similar. So sounds like it might be a good discussion.
Yeah, thanks. I'd love to do that.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Dwana Harvell.
Yeah.
My focus is coaching leaders of teams, be it entrepreneurs, managers, or community leaders. And this month I've been working on my hours because I would like to get certified. And I also have been attending sessions as part of a group that's focused on positive intelligence. I don't know if it's the same one, Shazard, Cherie. I don't know if it's the same one. And recently attended something like a boot camp by an organization called Sister Biz. So I've been working on my brand identity and things of that nature. This has been a rough month. I had an unexpected loss and work has just been pretty busy. So yeah, that's my story.
Yeah, you know, we're in the kind of business where your personal life and your business life do intertwine for almost everybody. So yeah, our prayers are with you. You know, can always have challenges that we're going through.
Yeah, so Rebecca, I might need to, once I finish this, get me a marketing mentor, I think you called it, to try to get more clients.
Yeah, marketing mentor. That was who she is. I think one of the things that I've learned, because I went through some marketing from my past business, is to find someone who like you click with and who's on like kind of the same page, because some can be like really not for you to help you market, you know. So
Yeah, they've got to understand and believe in what you're trying to do and not try to force you into being somebody else. Yeah.
100%, 100%. Yeah.
And that's also true of a VA, by the way, that I've noticed is that I've worked with a few VAs over the years, and you know, some of them are like, well, I've got my way of doing things, and you know, if you don't fit into that, I'm going to give you grief all the time. And it's like,
Reeb,
Well,
can I ask you how much your marketing mentor charges?
That I don't. I just have a high level right now, because we're going to meet and consult as far as what I want to do, because I want to also launch this mindful leadership meditation, 30-day meditation. But you can enter us like a 6-week program, and she charges $99 a week.
Wow.
I just happen to know her because I'm originally from New Jersey, and she was my photographer. And so I've known her for, I haven't like conversed with her, but she did fabulous portraits of me for my websites and stuff. And I just knew her style. And then I knew she was offering this $99, but mine might cost a little more based on what I want to launch in May. So yeah.
Thank you.
very cool. Okay, finally, thanks, Dwana. A couple updates. I don't remember if I told you that I landed a couple of new clients. One client was a couple that I had worked with back in 2017. I was looking through my records, and it was like, yeah, so it was like 4 years ago. I had worked with them on the early stage of their business. And then she called me back and said, okay, I've got some stuff I want to work on. And, so we basically just picked up the contract where we had left off and, did an assessment of, okay, so what are the issues you're dealing with today? And we started working on those. And it'll probably be like a 4-month stint, I think, because she's already feeling like she's getting enough so that she can now move forward and pass the issues that she was dealing with. The other one is a lady who runs a nonprofit here in Colorado. And she had been on my mailing list for 4 or 5 years, originally contacted through LinkedIn. And she just called me up out of the blue and said, got some stuff I'm working on. And by the end of the hour, she's like, okay, I want to hire you. Let's get started. Can you start next week? Let's start moving. So that was probably one of the quickest sales cycles that I've experienced. But this is the value of having a weekly newsletter, is she'd been following the newsletter for that long and decided that I might be a good guy to work with. So anyway, interesting place that clients come from, not from anything specific I did, just the general stuff. So, okay.
Carl, could I ask you something really quickly?
Yeah.
Who do you send your weekly newsletter to? Do you have an email list you've collected, or is it on LinkedIn, or how do you send that out?
All of my LinkedIn connections, I pull into my email because the CRM I control. And LinkedIn, well, they might change things, and I find their communication mechanism clunky anyway. And so it's much easier if it's on my email list. And so I have, I think, about 2,500 people, mostly Colorado, but people move around and whatever. So
do they have to opt in, or do you just pull them out and then they can opt out?
That's sort of the interesting thing. It's mostly an opt-out mechanism, but it's not just I'm going to throw stuff at you kind of approach. What I do is once we connect on LinkedIn, then I have a sequence of 4 messages that introduce me and try to make a more personal connection. And then they go on to my newsletter list. And so it feels more friendly than just being thrown into the middle of this barrage of emails. The other thing is I don't do sales pitches that way. It's about delivering valuable content. And so it feels different than what most people do with just saying, buy this, buy this, buy this, So, but it is difficult to try to figure out how to do it.
Thank you for that, Carl. I like that too. I've gotten my money's worth this morning.
There you go. Okay, so we have a few minutes to talk about particular issues. So what is it that somebody would like to talk through today?
Well, since we have so many that do group coaching, I don't know if that's something that we should say for a chat discussion or.
Well, you were the first to speak up. So if you'd like to put something on the table. So if we want to talk about group coaching, what is it that would be helpful from this group this morning?
I know for me personally, I have a background, I was an educator. So, I had large classes of people that I would speak to. And, sometimes we break up into smaller groups and, just be able to facilitate learning in different ways. And so what I love about the group concept is that you do have that accountability right there within your own group. And so I'm highly interested in to see how to
Yeah.
implement coaching.
Are you back in Colorado? No.
Okay.
How that would fit with the coaching model, whether it's activities or, how to get those groups engaged along the coaching arcs and moving forward.
Vicki, really quick, and then I definitely want to give people time to share. I'm going to put in the chat a woman. She is a consultant working at the pediatrician's office I work at, and she's helping not only therapists run groups, but healers, coaches, and she has an awesome podcast. She used to run the group therapy program at CSU. So she has a ton of experience. I'm going to put her website in here because it might be helpful to just start listening to her podcast and like getting a feel for group screens and different groups you can run. She's amazing. And I know she'd be happy to like chat with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fabulous. What other experiences that people had with their group or team coaching?
Well,
I remember being invited to participate in group coaching, and the coach basically, just shared for me to, if I had any friends that were interested in participating, to find out if they were interested. And then she offered a rate. And then, each person kind of shared what was go. Are you asking like logistically, how did it go during the session is what you want ideas about, Vicki?
What I'm interested in actual tools and how you would implement getting people engaged and experiencing the coaching benefits that you would on one-on-one, but through a coaching atmosphere that's, in a group setting of, 5 to 10 people. And I guess I'm thinking more specifically, like specific tools or maybe activities. We have these groups that we get together in, for instance, our Mastermind group here. And so in a way, I think of this as kind of a group coaching type experience, although it's a sharing experience. And so maybe I guess my question is more like, what are some specific activities or tools or ways of engaging people to move forward through the coaching process?
So then one activity would be to have a workshop, a worksheet or something to fill out with the list of questions that cause you to think through, whatever your issues are.
Yeah.
And then you could put everyone into a group, or what is this called? A breakout room. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
A breakout room. And they would either share out in the breakout room, maybe you pair people up, or you have the group, depending on how large the size. I don't know what size group you're speaking of, but you could use the breakout room as a means to report out, or you can have the group report out together in one large group. But the tool would be, the worksheet that you have them answer prior to getting together, or you can allot time on the call for them to complete the questions. So, you just play music or something and they just do the worksheet, and then you have them report out, or you put them in a breakout to report out with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that totally makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, you said you liked the accountability part of that. And as you've seen with the Mastermind, I've got a particular approach that I use for the accountability. One of the keys to it is that you only get excited about being accountable for things that you decided to take on. And so if I assign you homework and say, why don't you go off and do this because it would be brilliant, you're not going to be excited about that, and there's not a good chance that it'll happen, especially with adult learners. I mean, if it's kids, that's what you do in school, but with adult learners, it really is about, I'm going to go deep if I was convinced that it was important to me. And I do that with my own one-on-one clients, by the way, too, is that if I suggest something, I hold that pretty lightly. And I'm much more interested in what do they get interested in. And the other thing is the reporting out. For me, it's valuable to have that done for the whole group, because it's what we did here for the first half an hour or whatever, wasn't just reporting out and being able to brag and feel good about accomplishing things. Well, you got to do positive too, right? It's not just about getting beat up because I didn't do what I promised I would. But we also learned during that conversation, and we traded resources. We got some pointers. We were able to offer emotional support. There's a lot of other stuff that's going on than just the accountability thing. And so, and that's one reason why I cap these groups at 12 people. Is if you get larger than that, it gets pretty insane, because then all you're doing is the setting goals and reporting on goals, and that's all the time you have. And it's like, well, when did we ever have these discussions? So, so anyway, but that's been my approach. I did try some smaller team coaching kinds of things, and didn't work well, partly because I was unclear about how I was structuring it, which meant that I couldn't explain it to people. And the other thing that I found is it's really, really hard to get everybody to start the program at the same time. And so if I have it defined as like a 12-week program or something like that, you've got to say, okay, it starts on this day, which means you've got to have your sales cycle going on for 2 months before then. And it's all targeted around that day. It can't just be, well, start whenever you want to, like you do with a one-on-one client. This is different. So anyway, that I never did get to a place where I had critical mass on those group coaching programs. So, which is why I've structured these masterminds different.
Vicki, this is Reba. If you want to, I'd love to connect with you for 30 minutes, maybe offline, because I have a ton of ideas for you for group coaching. I do it a lot. And just for this group, I'll throw out, when I do group coaching, I set a certain amount of times where we're going to meet. And then I also do an activity where I do accountability partners, where they do activities in between, and they develop a bond with their accountability partner, which it's a really nice experience for them. So if you want, I can, happy to sit with you and give you some of the ideas that worked and didn't work. So
no, I would really love that. Thank you, Reba.
Yeah.
Do you have, Rebecca, do you have a particular format for that accountability? Like, do you say, these are the questions you should answer every time?
It all depends on what we're working on. So a lot of times we'll have some post work for them to do. And for example, I'll give you one example is where their assignment is to create their leadership philosophy. Well, part of that is also sharing your leadership philosophy. So I have that assignment where I, map out how to create a leadership philosophy. We go over what it is and all that. And then in between, they do individual work, and they have to meet with their accountability partner to share their work and then offer each other feedback. So, and it could be in a worksheet format where, what's the feedback you've gotten, and also questions to like help provoke some thoughts around that certain activity. And I call it usually exercises because I don't know, I call it an exercise.
Okay, neat. I like that.
Yeah, that's
Carl. Sorry, but I have I guess a question and perhaps a suggestion is, one of the things I've been doing with groups is incorporating the mastermind concept with the group so that there's more sharing. That idea, my question is, would it be of interest or a possibility with our group to have Rebecca maybe take some time and do, instead of doing all these individual meetings, do a 20 minutes or half an hour on group coaching, and if that would be of interest to everybody, and if that'd be appropriate for this format.
yeah,
if
my
not,
vote.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is we've got plenty of resources. And so, even if we have a group of 3 or 4 people and just want to pull something together and say, let's have this kind of deeper discussion.
I was just going to offer that we can do something off, like another session where whoever's interested, we want to focus on that. I'm happy to offer that time for sure.
Yeah. And, but please do, if you'd like to offer that in the Basecamp group, because there's people in the other mastermind who are also interested in group coaching and stuff. And so, get more bang for the buck that way, right?
better use of your time.
So who's taking the lead on that? I'm sorry. Is it Lauren or Rebecca?
Well, here's my new challenge then. I can take it on. I don't participate in Basecamp too often, so guess what I'm going to be doing? Yeah.
That's why I was asking, because I haven't really figured it out either. So I was going to contact you directly to make sure I can be included and I don't miss it.
Yeah, sure. I'll keep in touch with everyone. I mean, if you could give me like maybe 2 weeks, 1 or 2 weeks maybe, and we'll get something together maybe in the month of March sometime. I mean, April.
Yeah,
April?
I was thinking March is coming to a closure.
It's coming to a closure.
Yeah, email is great for one-on-one conversations and stuff like that. It gets really cumbersome if you're trying to include 30 people all replying to each other. That's insane. And so that's where I try to push people towards Basecamp, because we have it and we've paid for it, and so might as well take advantage of the tool.
Rebecca, would you mind putting your email in the chat?
Certainly will. I'll do it right now.
Thank you. I'm excited. I have an action step by our next meeting, and that's to get with Rebecca and talk about group coaching. And maybe, like you said, if you're able to do something for our group, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, fabulous.
So it's just reba@gmail.com.
Email reba@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yep, email Reba.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome, Holly. Good to see you this morning.
Hi, thank you for allowing me to step in late. So I had some conflict, but
Well, I was going to
happy to be here now.
I was going to lock the door, but I forgot.
Yeah, so. The virtual door. Yeah.
Okay. So is that good, Vicki? Did you get what you wanted?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We've got a little bit of time. We're at 10:02. So who would like to bring something else?
I have a question around coaching youth.
Okay.
I feel like the first session I joined, which was the last time we met, someone mentioned that they coach youth. Is that true? You attend so many Zoom meetings and
I know.
programs. And it's like,
The only thing I can think of, it may have been in this group and I've forgotten, but it may not have. But if you were on a regular ICF meeting, there's a guy, Rural Hunt.
Yeah,
And-
he was the one that came to mind.
Yeah, the name of his business is Coaching Kids.
oh, okay.
And so, I mean, that's what comes to mind, but I really don't know of anybody else that's talked about coaching youth, Carl. I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, certainly we've got a bunch of members in the chapter, and so if you throw out a question on Basecamp, then there's a good chance that you can get people to answer. So even if it's just something simple as, hey, I'd like to connect with other people who have experience in coaching children or families, or however you want to say it. And you don't necessarily need to fully describe what your idea is. You're just trying to get connected at this point, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a good resource. I would definitely reach out to Rule. He is awesome. He is very generous, and has some great ideas, and a lot of deep history. So what is it that you were trying to achieve, Dwana? Are you trying to figure out how to market to kids and their families, or what?
Well, I'm trying to figure out if I want to go in that direction,
Okay.
as I continue to work on my brand and, these foundational things. I just have something right here that keeps nagging at me about entertaining that idea.
Okay. Do you have a particular age or demographic in mind?
It would be high school,
Okay.
maybe students that are closer to graduating and trying to figure out next steps.
Okay. Yeah, I've had a discussion recently with a lady who is doing mentally challenged students in the high school to college transition. That sort of, and she doesn't call it coaching. But it's really very similar to those kind of issues that people have. And of course, if you've got somebody that's on government assistance and things like that, then they've got lots of hoops they need to jump through. So that's one of the things that she's dealing with. So it's not exactly the same scenario as what you're talking about. I sure could have used a coach when I was in high school.
Yes. Well, there's a lot of students that I think lack motivation. And if they had a better picture of, what they envision for themselves, maybe that would be motivational.
Well, the other thing that occurs to me is that we have this particular opportunity right now where parents are very worried that their kids have lost it because of all this virtual learning.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you can help them transition back to normal, is that the issue or something like that? Because I know everybody's been talking about it, and a lot of parents have been really concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Luana,
And it's also, I'm sorry.
no, you're fine.
It's also exploring opportunities outside of college and trying to identify passions and, things of interest that can be monetized, or maybe entrepreneurship, or, you know, things outside of college.
Mhm. Cool. Yeah, Kelly?
Well, this this is kind of the opposite of what you were just saying. But when I used to live in St. Louis, and I was a college preparation and completion coach. So I worked with high schoolers starting in 10th grade and then followed them into college. So that might kind of go against like what your value is, but I'm going to put them in the chat. I mean, they're based out of St. Louis, but it's a cool model. And it was just such a treat getting to work with, it was all first gen students.
No, that's great. I mean, I think you have both, you know, and I think those that don't want to pursue college get lost because high school, that's all they really preach and push. And so I think you have some students who, you know, don't take to that, and then they kind of just get lost, but they can still be very productive members of society, you know.
Well, the other thing that occurs to me is that many of the vocational schools
Exactly.
are kind of in this territory, right? Is that they are supporting people who are going in this transition to the workplace, but they may or may not be thinking about it as college in the traditional sense. You know, there's lots of different scenarios, and so I'll bet you that hooking up with some of the advisors in those schools might be valuable, just to say, how do they talk about it? How do they reach people? How do they connect with the kids while they're still in high school?
But I don't know that we have that many vocational schools anymore. But that's a good suggestion.
I don't know. I mean, you know, I'm really familiar with Front Range Community College. They're half a mile from my house, and then Ames Community College, and then I think Red Rocks is a different community college. I'm not sure. They might be connected with Ames or something, but I don't know. I see quite a bit of activity in that area. It doesn't feel like they're dying at all. As a matter of fact, it seems like they're more needed than ever because college is too damn expensive.
No, there's definitely a need for them, but I mean, as far as the access to them, for some it may not be there versus others.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Lincoln Tech comes to mind too. When my nephew came out of the military, he didn't really want to go to college, so he went there for a couple of years and became a diesel mechanic, and now he works on these machines that are huge, and he's got more employment opportunities than he has the time to take care of. And I know they do welding and all sorts of other stuff over there, so that might be a place to check out, and they're local.
Yeah, no, I'm not necessarily promoting not going to college, but, you know, meeting the student where they are.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So I think be clear, because I think college is great. I think they should go to college.
You can also think about hairdressers, cosmetology. That's all vocational stuff, and that's huge industry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so I teach at CCD in Metro, and I work with the students and actually give them extra credit for basically doing a 20-minute coaching session with me, just so I can kind of figure out where they're going and where they're at. And so it's been interesting working with them and kind of getting a feel for where their head is at. I mean, obviously they're in college, so my people are already have a direction that they're going. And I think I think the thing I think about when I'm listening to that, you'd have to probably find funding from the parents, because at least at the community college in Metro, they don't have any money. So I think that the other part that comes to mind for me is like, how do you get paid? And I think you'd have to shoot for the parents to get paid for something like that, because you want to find those people that where, like Carl said, the parents maybe are concerned that that they're a little lost and kind of don't have a direction. And I think that would be a good way to approach it, because they're like, I don't know, that doesn't feel right to me. That doesn't feel right to me. I don't really know what I want to do. I'm going to sit on my couch at home with my parents, you know.
Yeah.
And that the parents are going to go, ooh, this doesn't look good. So really, I think your target market is your parents to some degree. And then I would say, from the hypnotherapy clients I've worked with, when parents call for their kids, I said, let me have your kid call me and talk to me directly, because I want to make sure that the kids are invested, and it's not just their parents saying you need to go do this. You need to stop smoking, so I'm sending you to a hypnotherapist. Then they're going, I don't know, I'm here, I don't want to play. So I think there has to be that investment. So it needs to be on both sides. So I would definitely, if you enroll the parent, you also need to enroll the kid.
Thank you.
I wonder if Pooter District or one of the major school districts would, consider hiring a coach, since they do have the high school counselors, if that's in the works. It should be.
Yeah, I wonder if they
We
would see
can't
that
hear
as
you, Judy.
competition.
I think Judy is.
Have the coach available. You know, this is a kind of a member benefit, so to speak, because your child goes to school here. We have a coach available if you'd like to engage with the coach. It could be something that this, I'm imagining that the schools would be very willing, because they're like, what do we do? What do we do? This has been, there's so many issues that isolation has caused. And so I that really feels attractive to me. Another idea I was thinking about, it seems like seniors, who are boomers or something like that, who are getting ready to retire, and young people getting out of high school have a similar issues. And there are people who are marketing to seniors about how to make sure you have enough money for retirement. And there are people marketing to high schoolers, how do you make sure you have enough money for college? And that's all good, except what I'm interested in is, how do you know that what you're going to be doing after you retire or after you get out of high school is going to be fulfilling? And that's where the coaching comes in, helping with that, because money is a great thing. But I know there are a number of guys who've retired and decided, oh, good, now I'm going to play golf, and that kind of thing. And they have lost their identity. And pretty soon they keel over because there's nothing to fulfill their spirit.
Yeah.
There's also jobs that are showing up too. So if you're looking at LinkedIn, you're starting to see some like transition coachy kind of things showing up, supported by the school system. So, there's stuff coming out. It's just, it's just a matter of finding it or even creating it for yourself.
Okay. Yeah, there's, Carl asked me what demographic. And so I think if I had to dig a little deeper, it would be, those students that their parents are very busy and, low income, they're busy working and may not be giving the guidance or direction or have the time or the means or the resources. And so, they see on TV, this basketball player, this football player, and make that their goals without thinking that there's alternative careers, right? Everybody can't be Michael Jordan. Everybody can't be Tom Brady. And so just exploring other things and other paths. for them.
Okay. Well, very cool. So was this helpful for you, Duana?
It is, because of what Cherie brought up about the compensation. I think that's part of the reason why I've kind of been ignoring this little voice over here, because I know a lot of parents can't afford it. A lot of schools can't afford it because of, the budget cuts and this, that, and the other. But I know that it's very needed. And so when I think of the big picture, that kind of motivates me to want to explore it more.
Well, and it also ties into maybe our group coaching conversation.
Right.
Exactly,
Which is
why I was like,
that's
sign me up.
that's one of the ways to lower the cost for each of the individuals. But
Yes.
also you get the benefit of that accountability between the people in the group. And so, I've seen people do very creative things of, set up a group coaching program, maybe with some one-on-one coaching support or something like that. But it doesn't have to be super expensive for
Right.
each of the individuals. So,
And there's also community-based organizations that serve youth that, may be interested or may be able to roll
Fabulous.
into their grants, or even on the schools' campuses, they have youth programs dedicated to certain groups.
yeah.
So that might be an option.
And,
That's
and the other
okay.
thing that, besides the accountability with the group coaching program, is the support. You know that these people are out here and they're in the same kind of situation, looking for the same kind of answers. And so that creates more community and less isolation.
Mhm.
Nice.
Very good. Thank you.
I'm not even interested in this market and I'm getting excited.
Yeah, see that the energy is infectious. So, okay, we've got 10 minutes. I need to respect your time. So let's go around the room. Each person has maybe a minute to talk about what are you taking away and going to be working on for the next month.
Well, I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
Since we just wrapped up that conversation, I'm definitely going to explore youth coaching. I'll follow up with Raul and I think it was Rebecca regarding the group coaching.
Okay.
Let's see where that leads me.
And it's Rule rather than Raul. It's
Oh,
Rule.
thank you.
And
REUEL.
Say that again.
REUEL.
Oh, okay, REUEL.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just downloaded the Basecamp app, and so maybe I'll have a better experience using the app. So I'll work on that as well.
Okay. Fabulous. Who next?
I'll go. So yeah, I'm excited also about the group coaching. So I just thought I'd tag onto that and contacting Rebecca about that.
Okay. Anything else you'd be doing?
That's probably as far. I mean, I'm going to continue with what I'm already doing. So that's the new thing I'm going to add.
Okay. Fabulous.
I'll, go off of the same theme with the group coaching. I'm excited to, brainstorm because I don't have all the answers, because I think that what I could bring forward is more ideas for everyone, including myself. And I'm excited to learn about Basecamp. And I'm excited.
Honest, I'm not being paid by them to shill their product.
Seriously. And I'm excited next week to meet with my marketing mentor to let you all know how that goes.
Yeah, well, we want to hear about that. Sounds fabulous.
I will tell you what I'm going to do, and then I just have a small request.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep spinning the plates I have in the air. And I'm loving everything I'm doing, and everything is rolling and in progress. And so that's what I'm going to keep doing. My small request is I ordered a Zoom clip-on light for my computer. And it has 3 settings, and I'd like to ask for your feedback about the different settings, how they look to you, and tell you that I'm having a problem because the light is so bright. I don't think I could do anything for an hour, and not have my nervous system go crazy. So
Is the light on right now, Judy? Oh, now it is.
I just turned it on.
Okay.
This is the cool light at the lowest setting. This is the warm light.
Yeah, it does look warmer.
And this is the cool light at the high setting.
Okay.
So it's great, and it's not bothering me as much this morning, but it is very bright.
Well, it's going to bug you more at night because it'll seem very harsh. One of the things you could try is to not point it at you, but point it at the wall in front of you and have
it clips onto the computer.
Uh-huh.
So I'll show it to you. This is
Okay.
Oh, I need one of those, Judy.
Yeah, but you can, if you want to reflect it off the wall or something like that, then it's not going to feel as harsh.
Okay,
I think I see you well without any of the light, but if you needed to do the first light, then I think that looks very good.
Are you here in Denver?
I am, yes.
Well, then if you need, I have 2 of them actually. And so if this is something, because I don't know for sure when I ordered 2 of them because I thought it was a good idea. The second one was half price. So you said you see me okay without it. And then what did you say after that?
The first light seemed to be sufficient, the first setting.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so Judy, also you have natural lighting already in your space, just from your window. So I think it might depend on the lighting on the time of the day.
Yes, and the other thing I've gotten a green screen that goes behind me, and I was going to show that to you this morning, but with all the other technical issues, I wasn't able to. So
I did see that.
I'm sorry.
I did see your green screen this morning because it made me think of St. Patty's Day. I thought she's set, no pension going on over there.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
but then you can't wear a green blouse because then you'll disappear.
Well,
So
thank you for that, because that's something I haven't learned yet. Thank you. I'll remember that.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can have a floating head, but that would be kind of weird.
I might try it just to see what it looks like.
Well,
Right.
even current blouse blended in a bit because it was pretty close.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, thank you all for your
Okay.
feedback. I appreciate it.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Yeah, I was gonna tell you, I have one behind me, and I did that for Halloween. I just did that with my class for St. Patrick's Day, and I came in and I have a shirt that matches it. So I have a Zoom background behind, a fake Zoom background behind me too, and so yeah, it just shows right through you. It's pretty hilarious. The thing that I love the group thing too, because a lot of the stuff I'm doing with positive intelligence is in groups. So I'm actually giving them content, and I'm giving them stuff to talk about, and they just bonded marvelously. And so it's just a beautiful experience to watch them support each other, and me just like offering content and not, because there's a part of me that wants to be in it. And I'm like, okay, I need to step back here and be present and let them support each other, because it's really marvelous with this content that they're able to do that. And I really love, so the group thing, Rebecca, so you got another person interested in the group thing. And for me, it's just kind of polishing off my stuff, really making sure the group, as much as I can, have my content already prepped and ready to go. So when it comes to do this, things run on their own without me having to do every little thing and not forget something and stay on top of it. So that's the thing I'm working on.
Nice. Yeah, you're going to have to report on that because that's something that is highly valuable for all of us. So, okay. Who's next?
I can go.
Okay.
Also, Reba, sign me up for the group. I'll be watching that in base camp. I am going to be interviewing women to drum up some interest in my Reclaim Your Power series. And I also start marketing for my 2 individual classes that I'm going to be launching probably in May. So still working on creating content and gathering people of interest to join me. That's what I'm going to do.
Fabulous. Okay. Who next?
I know I mentioned this earlier, you guys, but working on the website, should have a first draft, at least somewhere where people can go and I can send it and people can book. And then also, Carl, I wanted to give you a shout out for introducing me to Ruth a couple years ago. I'm going to be presenting part of her Heartwise series. So I also need to get ready for a presentation. So yeah,
Cool.
thank you again, Carl. Ruth and I were going to do a course together. Like, it's been so fun getting to connect with her. So I really appreciate you linking us.
Fabulous. Excellent. Okay, Holly.
Yeah, so I missed the check-in, so and I missed the February meeting, so a lot has happened for me. I got unstuck, which was the first step, because I was well, we've all been there. I don't need to tell you. So now I feel like I've got some really good momentum going now. Working on the website and my LinkedIn, which hopefully over the next few weeks I'll get that, pushed out to the public. The other thing is somebody that I went to my coaching training with, who actually lives in Portugal. We're both on the same path for ACC. So we had a call this week and we decided to partner up and kind of push ourselves collectively across the finish line with the recordings and, the assessment and those last few pieces that we need to do. So we have a goal of mid-April to accomplish that. I think that there will be some time one way or another based upon, I know the response time of CEC as well as ICF, they have to get to you and so forth. But yeah, we started the training together. We met as strangers, became friends. Then, she moved across the world and she still coaches me every week and we stay connected on all these things. And she keeps me in the loop on what's happening across the pond, which is always interesting. So I'm super excited to finally be able to say, yep, I've done what I need to do in order to achieve that ACC. And then from there in April, I'm going to be part of this 30-day challenge to start building a client base. So I feel like I've got some good things stacked up in front of me that's going to help me really get things off the ground. So I'm super excited for that. And then Rebecca, for you, I would definitely be interested in learning more about how you approach group coaching. I've done it in the past in my former job in my corporate space, but it's always good to hear how other people do things and, see what I learned from that. So I'll be interested to connect with you guys on that one as well. So I should not be looking for anything to do over the next month. I have plenty of stuff stacked up in front of me. So.
Yeah, sounds like you got a few things on your list here. So, but that's nice. In another month, we can all celebrate that you've got your ACC or you filed your ACC.
Yeah, and if it's not completely finished, then at least I'll be that far away,
I have a quick question. So there is no group coaching mastermind groups at all within this chapter? I'm just trying to, I don't want to reinvent
I don't
anything.
think so.
Because it sounds like it's a need.
Yeah, it sure does, huh? It certainly was like half of our conversation today. So
yeah, so
a lot of energy around it.
So Carl, if I could reach out to you in an email to find out
Mhm.
like what the procedure is, maybe we should get us some sort of group coaching mastermind thing together. Or
Yeah,
something.
we certainly, if you think there's a broad enough need, we could certainly start something. So
I'm just wondering. Yeah.
yeah, sure. Yeah, drop me a
Thanks.
note.
Yeah, just to get some help on how to create that. I have no idea how to
Yeah,
get it all together.
yeah, it's not hard.
Okay.
So
Thanks.
okay, everyone, great meeting with you. Yes, Judy.
I want to know how you're doing with your arm, Carl.
Well, it's gotten a bit better. I'm doing physical therapy now, but it's one of those things where it hurts short term, but I can see the long term benefit. Because when he starts poking on it and everything, then it's like, ooh, ouch! I know that's going to feel that for the rest of the day. But if it feels better a day or two down the road, then okay, that's an improvement. But yeah, it's slow. It makes me feel old.
Mm. Well, I'm just thinking about you and sending you lots of love and prayers and support and etc. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, if I wasn't shoveling snow, that would help. So all righty. I will let you all run. Have a great weekend.
Thanks,
And
everyone.
we'll see you next week, next month.
All right.
Thank you all. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks.
Take care.
Great
Bye-bye.
weekend.